Hello everyone. We are living in a special time. The global health crisis is forcing us to stop for a moment. The momentum is slowing down. And that gives us the opportunity to think about what's actually going on in the world. That we realize that over the past century we have maneuvered ourselves in a situation that is no longer tenable. I think that we are at a turning point in time. The turning point from prosperity to well-being. After all, what's going on? Apart from the fact that we have a health crisis in the world, we also have some other issues to tackle. The climate crisis is not gone, of course, the moment we have restrained this health crisis. We do see the smog in the cities decreasing, and the number of deaths due to pollution seems to be smaller this year than the years before. This gives us a picture of what it could be like if we did it differently. At the same time, the nitrogen problem in the Netherlands makes it impossible to build properly, and far-reaching measures are needed in the agriculture sector to create room for economic growth in combination with the protection of nature. Moreover, the agricultural sector is taking major risks for our food supply. The increase in the scale of livestock population with megastables means that approximately 80% of the production of the Netherlands can be exported. Good for the economy, but if a disease such as swine fever or Q fever breaks out, the consequences are immense. In that respect, we could of course have seen this corona pandemic coming from afar. Everywhere where too large numbers of one species are on a clot, new diseases arise to restore the natural balance. And this time it resulted in a health crisis. The dependence on Asian producing countries became clear. Suddenly we see that it is strategically important to also produce things in Europe. Mouth caps and other personal protective equipment, but also parts for our industry. Many manufacturers have shut down their factories due to the failure to supply parts. The health crisis is leading the world into a major economic crisis. And finally, we also have the biodiversity crisis, a crisis that is rarely discussed, but which is of crucial importance to us as humanity. Never before have animal species been dying out so massively as since Europe colonized the world. The combination of direct human action through hunting and poaching and indirect action resulting in climate crisis is working together to reduce biodiversity. And when insects are already suffering, mankind has a major problem. There's a lot going on, a health crisis, a climate crisis, an economic crisis and a biodiversity crisis, and all at the same time. Reflecting on the past 150 years, one cannot help but conclude that we have amassed enormous prosperity and that we have reached the limit of that growth if we continue to do this on the same way. Fortunately, during this health crisis, I see also people reflect on their behavior and make different choices. Sustainability is the central theme. Sustainability in everything, from sustainable food production to sustainable energy production to sustainable leadership. This sustainability movement in the world is focused on the welfare of people, animals and the environment, and will have a major impact on how we shape the future of the world. More thoughts will be given to ecological responsible choices that are less focused on the individual and more on the environment and the people around us. Because in this way we can prevent another health crisis, reverse the climate crisis, stop the biodiversity loss and overcome economic crisis. For every company, this means that it will have to rethink its contribution to the world, taking the idea of sustainability into account. Because it is very simple. Doing something at the expense of the world and just for the benefit of yourself and your company will no longer be accepted in time. If, on the other hand, you contribute something to solving the various crises in the world, it does not necessarily have to be at the expense of you and your company. I do wish you wisdom in your choices.